Hi everyone. Do you want to know how to grow your business, get more clients, save your time and money, or enter the new market? Partnerships can help you to do that. Today I'm talking to Martin Scholz, a German entrepreneur and expert in B2B SaaS partnerships. He's also a tutor and a CAG academy, and he trains revenue leader and partner managers, and he also organizes in Berlin partnerships meet up for people who want to learn more about partnerships and business growth. So today will be very interesting. Martin will share with us what partnerships are and how they can help you to grow your business. My name is Hannah. I'm from Ukraine. On my YouTube channel, Berlin Biz, I try to find out how to make business in Germany. And today we will speak about partnerships. Let's get started. Hi, Martin. Thank you for joining me today. How are you feeling? How is your day going so far?
It's going well so far. The last week before Christmas, always very intense, but looking forward to the Christmas season and happy to be here.
Super. And before we start our interview, I have to ask you something. Some people might wonder, since your last name is Scholz, are you by any chance related to Olaf Scholz?
No, and I have to say, luckily, when he became chancellor, we were joking that might open some doors, but right now we are very keen to say we are not at all related to them.
Okay, unfortunately.
Well, yeah.
I thought maybe I could have a good connection.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Can't help you with that.
Okay. Since my YouTube channel is called Berlin Biz and you are real Berliner, let's talk a little about Berlin. Do you like this city?
I'm absolutely. Apparently I'm super biased, but I absolutely love this city. I explored some others, and of course my wife and I, we always felt like if we would live anywhere in Germany, then Berlin. We couldn't imagine to get to any other city here.
And you've worked in different countries and different cities. What does Berlin compare to other countries and cities in terms of opportunities for business and innovation? What is your opinion?
I guess Berlin, since many years or centuries even, is a place which is very open-minded, which attracts people who like to be open-minded, which creates a nice way of innovation for the city. It is a German or it's a European metropolitan city, and I think it's a good place to start. There's a vibrant startup scene here, and even though prices have increased significantly in the last 10 years, it's still, for European capital, super cheap compared to like London or Paris.
And in your opinion, what are the main strengths or weaknesses of Berlin business environment?
I guess the strength is apparently that it attracts a lot of talent from all over the world who want to come to Berlin because it's an amazing city. It's openness, it's culture, it's a spirit probably even. And apparently it's also a bit of a reinforcing wheel because so many cool people are here, more cool people want to join. There are cool startups here, so more people want to start their business here. I guess it's a very strong advantage of Berlin. And as I said, prices are still, for European capital, reasonable. The big weakness apparently is Germany, it's bureaucracy, even though I always joke Berlin is not Germany, but we do have the German bureaucracy here. So be ready to get the pen and paper out and fill out a lot of forms. That's certainly the downside of Berlin.
Yeah. Okay. And what would your top advice for people considering moving to Berlin and start their startup or business here?
I guess be aware that if you move outside your startup bubble, you will face Germans, meaning that while you can make a living totally fine here in Berlin without speaking any German, if you stay in your, in the boroughs, if you want to do business in Berlin or in Germany, at one point you should be ready to learn German or have people who are fluent in German to do business here. That's probably the top advice, and be ready for the German culture, which is different to many other apparently to like any other European culture or international culture is different. And be aware of the German culture.
Okay. And you are an expert in the B2B SaaS partnership. So today we will speak about partnership. And let's go. Could you tell us about your journey? What inspired you to specialize in the B2B SaaS partnerships?
Actually, it was also a bit of by chance. I think what always drives me is that my mentality is I love to connect with folks and I love to look at the long-term visions. So I started my career in a completely different field. And, over the years, my North Star was always kind of, there's a saying that when I was young and was just about to start my career, I was saying that there's a lot of family-owned companies in Germany, Western Germany, which lack of succession. So it was run or founded by the dad or grandfather, but the current generation has no interest in doing this super hard job. I grew up in East Berlin, so my dad couldn't create a company. So I was like, okay, maybe I take over one. Only that was all pre-internet. And over the years, I guess my idea was to be the generalist, the economic generalist, the business person. And if you think about partnerships, B2B partnerships, it is literally very much like classical business development. To develop the business further together with a partner, you need to be a generalist. You need to have a good understanding of all disciplines. And I guess that's what really, this combination of long-term thinking and also being a generalistic thinking and understanding and creating this business case is what really fascinates me about that.
Mm-hmm. And can you explain in simple words what B2B SaaS partnership are and how they help businesses to grow?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think I would describe a B2B partnership when two companies working together to achieve a mutual long-term goal. So I always say like they typically function if one company has one goal and the other company has another goal, and if there's a big enough overlap where they say, hey, if we work together, if 1 and 1 equals 3, then there's a reason and a good thing for the partnership. What is this 3? Typically, partnerships work if a mutual customer is involved. So a customer of the one company is also a customer of the other company, and by those companies working together, he has a better value out of this. For the companies, it means that their business growth is more sustainable, more efficient, and partnerships can help various things. They can help to acquire customers better, faster, cheaper, to also increase the value for the customers, meaning the customers stay longer. B2B SaaS, it's about retention. But especially if you think about other situations, entering a new market, like going international, going to another country, doing this with a local partner increases significantly this B2 market. So you're very, very fast on the market, and it definitely mitigates risk because you have a trusted guide. It's like exploring a foreign city by yourself or some random person on the street, or finding someone who's a tour guide in the city and knows the city very well and be your partner on your discovery of that particular city.
And maybe you know some interesting example on the German market of successful partnerships.
Sure. I mean, there are a lot of American companies who want to come to Europe, and way too often they are a bit of ignorant about the differences in Europe. I mean, there's no coming to Europe, right? You can come to Germany, but it's a complete different game than France or the UK, right? And a lot of them kind of stumbled in the beginning, and only when they understood, okay, it's maybe not a good idea to hire some random country manager, they looked into, how can we use potential local partners for that. And if you look at the successful companies like, of course, the always known Salesforce or HubSpot, they work with local partners who help them to orchestrate or to get into the German market, or basically expand their market here. I guess that could be a good example.
And what do you think for startups and small businesses? What are the first steps to building a strong partnership strategy in Germany?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I always recommend to build your strong partnership model in your home market. It's a double risk and probably challenging if you say, oh, let's explore the new market with an unproven partner concept. So my recommendation is always use the partnership in your home territory or the ones where you are already established, because that gives you credibility to even find partners, test your hypothesis on partners, like why would they partner with you? What is the value proposition, what you bring to them? What makes it interesting? And if you have this proven and you say, okay, in my home market, I have this strong network of partners, it's way easier to say, okay, I know how to do this, and now let's go into this market and find the German lookalikes to my home-based partners. So if you're working very successfully with digital marketing agencies in your origin, then you can go easier to these German digital marketing agencies and say, hey, we're working very successfully with these companies in this market. Here's how we do this. Would you be interested in then you have a proof of concept instead of trying, if you so far only did direct business in your home market, and then you try, it's like two dimensions, new market and new go-to-market. That I wouldn't recommend that.
Okay, and what I faced as a Ukrainian entrepreneur. So I got that our Ukrainian business environment completely different as business environment in Germany. And the methods, how I can make a new introduction in Ukraine, totally different as the methods here in Germany. So could you tell us about what cultural differences companies, businesses can face in Germany, working with the German partners, with the German clients? Tell us.
It's very interesting to us as a German. I always enjoy reading postings or shares from experts in Germany, how they perceive my country, because apparently I grew up here, right? So for me, it's like, it's all natural. And it's very interesting to see a third-party perspective onto Germany. For a business environment, I think what also makes Berlin a great place to come is Germans are, and especially in Berlin, we are infamous for being very blunt and direct, which can be very harsh and can feel very uncomfortable if you're not used to it. But at least you know immediately where you are. I personally find it very harder to do business with the UK, where everybody's super polite, and you never know if they're just polite or if they're real interest. Or the US, where everything is amazing, and you feel like, oh, that was a great call. And when I started business, and was doing business with Americas, and then my boss asked me how was the call. I was like, I don't know, because they always say it's amazing, but you only know it like 2 weeks later whether they follow up or not. And in Berlin, they tell you right in the face, I'm not interested. And it's like, oh my God, it's like a smack in the face, but it takes you time. I think that is the biggest advantage if you get used to it. If you get over this cultural shock, it can help you to save a lot of time and a lot of energy. The other things is, I guess, what I heard is that we Germans are, that's a very bad cliche, but it feels like every German feels like an engineer. So in America or in other markets, you talk about the benefits. In Germany, we want to see the proof in the features. So
Yes, that's what I got. So in Ukraine, when I tell about benefits, it's easier to produce something. But in Germany, I got it works a bit different. So if you tell us, educate us a bit in this direction, it will be wonderful.
My simple example to illustrate that, and apparently it's an exaggeration, but in America, if you see a car advertisement, it says like, this is the Ford whatever, the fastest car, and everybody's like, oh, I need to buy it, it's the fastest car. If you do that in Germany, everybody says, no, I don't trust you, tell me the proof. The flip side of that was when Volkswagen in the 70s went to the US. They made a German advertisement, Volkswagen Golf, so and so and so much horsepower, talking about the technical features, which every German kind of translate, okay, if that small car has such a big engine, it's very fast. But the Americans are like, okay, so what, right? And to kind of summarize it, my perception was always in America, you just make this bold statement about the value or about the benefit, fastest car, biggest car, whatever, and everybody feels like, oh yeah, I need to buy it, without challenging the statement. If you do that in the UK, you can still get away with this benefit, but you need to have like the fine print of where do you measure it by, like measured by XYZ. If you want to do it in German, you may get away with a statement, but only if it's the backside of the advertisement. You have the detailed analysis, comparison, all the facts, all the features, all the states, and ideally you would have a third-party authority proving that your point is true. If you don't do this, people will challenge you. They will not believe you. They will feel like you just make that up. So I think this is the best way to describe it. And also to get it back to the B2B SaaS area, I read a few times from people recruiting salespersons in Germany, expats who said like German salespersons are so technical. Because if you want to sell B2B SaaS software in Germany, as a sales rep, you need to know your software. You can't get away by just saying, we improve your ROI, because your buyer will immediately challenge you like, okay, how? Explain me how. And if the salesperson then doesn't know the mechanics, the features, how the software works, he's immediately discredited. He's not trusted, or she.
Okay. And if you make something like a top advice, how to build trust in Germany, could you say just a simple 1, 2, 3?
Number one, do what you say and say what you do. There's nothing worse than making bold statements which you can't live up to. I think that is where it's the biggest difference I see with other cultures. Be a reliable business person. That is super important here. On the other hand side, don't be too pushy, especially if you talk about business environments. I mean, in the US, it's totally normal that they bombard you and push you, and that also gets a very bad taste in Germany. We have this funny or interesting situation that we do not want to be sold to. So if you compare, what are good examples? If you look at LinkedIn, the global US network, and the German equivalent, which is called Xing or Crossing. Xing is absolutely not about selling. LinkedIn is everything about selling. And this is, I didn't find any more visual difference or example to explain that difference. So be trustworthy, do what you say what you do. Don't be too pushy. And also I would say make sure that you do respect your clients or prospects or other persons' time and business, and you show respect by coming prepared into a conversation.
Okay, thank you for the good advices. And it's also important for me because I also try to build my new business relationship in Germany. So my question is, what do you think, what are the main challenges international SaaS company face when they try to enter German market?
I guess it comes back to what I just said. It's a bit like, how do you gain trust? First of all, I guess it's super important to be, first of all, very aware that the German market is different than the home market, and of course different than the French or the Danish market or any other company or country in Germany or in Europe. Basically, where there are some cultures which are closer to the German ones, there are some which are very different. I guess being aware is the first step. Second one is understanding that there's this expectation of earning the trust and not getting away with just a bold statement. So you better have proof for any claim you do, and you have a track record, or you can show this. If you, I would say, if you're an international company coming to Germany, you should have already success in your core market, in your home market. So be sure that you can show how you help, that you have customer success stories or partner stories you can share. And there's also huge, I think, to be very honest, there's a difference when what's your target group. There's one thing if you would, stay in your startup ecosystem here in Berlin, which is very international. You can get away with English. You don't even have to speak German. But if you want to sell to the German Mittelstand, you better find German speakers. You better be aware of very traditional business culture. Maybe you need to, tell your people on the ground to get out, maybe not a tie, but a shirt and a suit maybe, or I don't know. It's so
Main challenge is the language, yeah?
language and traditional business culture.
Okay, understanding these culture differences here. Okay, interesting. And how do you think what mistakes international SaaS company makes when they try to enter German market?
The one thing I see from American companies being ignorant that Europe is not a country, but 26 or 30, depending how you count, um, believing that they can get away with everybody speaks English, even if their clients or their prospects do understand English and speak English, they probably don't do it on a daily basis and don't feel comfortable to do business in English. So that's a big challenge. The other thing is then, not investing in building that trust. I guess, especially if you think about, Eastern European companies, Ukraine companies. Well, we have I know a couple of great Ukrainian companies. We have a lot of great collaborations. There's in some clients in some traditional industries, they probably still think, okay, is that even a real country, kind of, or being kind of ignorant on the level of advancements you have in these markets. But yeah, in the end of the day, not being ready to invest in German speakers and not being mindful of the German company culture, and just believe to hire some random country manager here in Germany who would miraculously, sell to their Rolodex, to their contacts. I never saw that working very well.
I understand. And what do you think about German market? For some entrepreneurs, German market seems quite interesting. But is it tough market to enter or not? What do you think?
Interestingly, I usually think about like which market should a German company enter first, and I always are confused that German companies always want to go to the US or the UK, where they typically face strong local competition. I guess if you look at the European market, Germany is one of the biggest or the biggest economy. So certainly it should be interesting. I think it's challenging with the culture a bit, with the language expectations a bit. But that's probably the same if you go to France or Italy or Spain or the UK. And then, of course, the infamous German bureaucracy might be quite a hindrance. And this is something which really annoys me about my home country, that Germany is so reluctant and actually like consciously not moving forward in that area of bureaucracy and digitalization in the public sector, which is really, really disappointing for me. But in all other aspects, despite us Germans complaining a lot, and we love to complain apparently, I think it's a fantastic market, it's a fantastic country, strong economy nevertheless. So yeah, I guess from an outside perspective, Germany should be a very interesting market to enter.
And how do you think could this issue, which you just told, could they be changed in the future? This bureaucracy, digitalizing, and so on. What do you think?
It's a very interesting point. My very personal opinion, which is by far not proven, is that Germany, we are still too wealthy. We can afford having this lame, slow, paper-driven, bureaucratic processes. A lot of other economies in Europe were facing strong challenges, and they had to change. So the pain for change is in Germany not big enough. We still have too many public servants who are in short before their retirement, and they're apparently in the leading positions, and they say, I will not change anything. I only have 5 years left in my career. I will not do anything. I just keep going. It worked for 20 years for a change.
Back to our topic, B2B SaaS partnership. So tell about what you do exactly. You are an expert in a B2B SaaS partnership, how you help your clients. Tell about your business.
Sure, I'm happy to do so. So basically, I did build and run partnerships for 3 successful startup scale-ups in the last 15, 17 years before I, started my own business. And I never thought I would run my own business because I wasn't sure, what is something I can add which no one else had. But I realized that since I'm in this partnership business for nearly 20 years, some of them even without knowing that I'm doing partnerships already, taught me a lot. And I made a lot of mistakes in the last 15 years and hopefully more successes. And I guess what I bring to the table is, hey, if you want to start in partnerships, you can benefit from my 15 years of making mistakes, so you don't have to do the same. I initially said I would help companies to build partner initiatives. My vision was that I would meet up fantastic founders or who want to explore this and to help them to do it right from the start. Reality is that I actually today I would say I help companies to build, repair, and scale, because a lot of companies I work with, I actually have tried something, but since they didn't understand the mechanics of partnerships, because they are so diverse and unique and colorful, they run into typical mistakes and they struggle. And so what I do today is I help companies again to either build from the start or repair what they tried, or help them to scale to the next level by applying the learnings, methodologies, and frameworks I collected in the last nearly 20 years.
And you work mostly with international companies or German companies?
Both. So apparently my career in the last 20 years was very international, very global. But in the last years, since I'm based in Germany and based in Berlin, my German network improved significantly. And I have the pleasure to work with companies from other European countries, some exploring some possibilities to help American companies to land in Germany. But the majority are German companies who are using partnerships, then maybe to go international as well.
In my interview, we speak about technology, and today everybody speaks about AI technologies. And my question is, could AI tools, AI technology change B2B SaaS partnership, and what is your opinion?
I guess, especially in the partnership area, it's a lot about relations. And these are human relations, not AI relations. I think there are other areas where AI has a faster and more exposed impact, specifically marketing and sales. However, I personally believe that a lot of this, which is currently being proclaimed and shared, is not sustainable at all. Let me give you one specific example. You always see on LinkedIn these guys telling you how they built a tech stack which automates everything, and especially in outreach and super personalized outreach. I believe what people are overlooking, to be very specific, is hyper-personalized outreach in the last years worked, not because now somebody knew my name or knew which university I graduated from, but by showing that he knew or she knew, she showed that she took the time to invest in the research. So what I honored wasn't that she knew that my name is Martin, but I honored the time she invested in understanding what I'm doing, and then she still reached out to me. So I kind of felt like she pre-qualified me quite a bit, and after investing a lot of time, she still thought it makes sense to reach out to me to come up with a business proposal. So I was like, okay, let's give her a chance, because apparently she did the research. If this research today is done automatically, this quality criteria is gone. So I will not accept it anymore. And some people joke, and I see it the same way. Probably in not so distant future, my inbox will be protected by an AI co-pilot who will filter all the AI generated high personalized outreach, and basically the AIs will do ping pong with each other. And I wait for the moment where my AI assistant tells me, oh, Martin, I bought this software for you because I feel like it's a good match, right? And I don't think that people will do this. So I strongly believe that there is a lot of benefits by utilizing AI for, doing some research part, etc. But the communication, the interactions will remain unchanged. And the other thing which I am very concerned about is that AI can only be as good as the training material, the data they have. And the most data these AIs trained on is super biased. And I am very concerned about AI will amplify biases which we have in the society and basically roll back a lot of the efforts we did in the last 5-10 years to be more diverse, more conscious about biases. And so I hope that people recognize that and not blindly trust AI. And this time it might be a positive thing that Germany specifically, but also the European Union, is rather restrictive on the usage. And it might be that this enables us, while it looks like a disadvantage right now, may turn into an advantage, because by being more mindful on AI usage and this method, the technology behind, we may come up with a better AI in the future, less biased, less bold, less stupid, more balanced.
Okay. So there are some possibilities, but you're still skeptical about.
I am skeptical. I'm not using AI a lot, if any.
What kind of AI tools do you use for your job?
Oh, I think the only thing I'm using is very simply ChatGPT, more for ideation or for verifying my language, because I'm also not native. So I sometimes try to get inspiration or rewriting. But then I feel like if I look at LinkedIn, you kind of smell if it's AI generated or not. And so I do try to understand how other people use AI, but the results are not convincing me, because I do believe authenticity is important. Being individually is important. I think where I see AI is being integrated into some tools I'm using anyway. So, if I'm using an accounting system and they do recognize my invoices and they become smarter in interpreting it and make my life easier, that's a nice use case. So that is more where I feel like I'm using AI without even being knowingly using AI, because it's part of the tools I'm using, which help to reduce those tasks which I would say are low quality or low value, high time. So the stuff which is boring takes a lot of time, and there's not really something where your brain can prosper. It's just the stuff which you need to get done. I think this is a play field for AI I see. But other than that, I'm not using these clays and all these other stuff. Also because in my business, I don't need to have 100 leads. So all of this scalability is not relevant for me. I rather work with 10 clients. And this is something I can handle without having any AI agent on my side.
I have a question about your personal experience, your personal journey. Do you have what kind of challenges do you have now in your business?
Too much AI generated content? No, but joke aside, I mean, it's really tough to make people aware that, what my services are. For me, LinkedIn is probably, or not, probably it is a relevant channel to reach people. But I look at LinkedIn and it feels every day more and more like another TikTok. And I'm really tired of all these algorithm hacking things which are showing up. I miss relevant content because some fancy, stupid link bait or comment bait post is filling my feed. And these random posts with some, well, maybe this even relevant post with a random selfie, because selfie does apparently create interactions. And I'm really torn in between, like, do I jump on the train and start to apply the same things I don't like, or do I try to stay true to myself? And so far I'm doing the later one, but I see it's getting harder to get out of my audience. When I reach out to my audience and ask, like, are you even using LinkedIn? And then they say, yes, of course, every day, like 2-3 minutes. And I was like, how the hell should I be in the 2-3 minutes, get into the feed of this person, which I want to share my content with? But I don't see any other alternative other than the good old word of mouth, which I'm using. And again, luckily, I don't need hundreds and thousands of leads or prospects or clients. I'm fine with a handful, but this is really challenging for me.
What do you think? What kind of challenges partnership, B2B SaaS partnership ecosystem has in Germany, in Berlin? What kind of challenges, and what do you think, what can be developed or changed in a B2B SaaS partnership ecosystem here?
I believe Berlin is pretty well positioned in the ecosystem. There's a strong culture of bringing people together. If you look at the meetup culture here in Berlin. I guess literally every day in the week you could go to some random meetup. Maybe it's even too much because I know from some folks who shared that they know folks who are going from one meetup to another to get food and drinks, but not really relevant for the meetup itself. The challenge I see is that on the one hand side, there's this ecosystem, which is basically just people getting together. But the partnerships is like, making that a mutual business interest. So it's a kind of a subset of this. And what I see is still that there's a lot of lack of knowledge on how to make that meaningfully. There are a lot of partnerships which are signed but do not produce because it's easy to sign. Let's do a partnership. Oh yeah, cool, let's sign it. There's no commitment. There's no financial money changing hands, so there's easy to sign. Doesn't hurt, but doesn't also bring value then later. So educating people more about what a good partnership would look like, why they should start it, what is a real good expectation to do partnerships, and what are potentially partnerships to rather walk away from and not even try to do that. I think there's an ongoing educational challenge in the B2B SaaS industry to make people more aware of this is why you should do it, this is why you not should do it, or this is not why you should do it. And here's the way to find a good way to get it started. And but ultimately, this educational part, this guidance is my business, right? So I'm happy that maybe it's good for me that not too many people already know about it. On the other side, I'm apparently very sad if I hear people say, "Oh, we tried partnership, didn't work." I'm really relatively sure that 99% it didn't work because they didn't know how to do it. It's probably like in your business, people say, "Oh, social media didn't work for us," and you look at it and say, "Like, oh, come on, the way you approach it couldn't have worked in the first place because you don't know the underlying principles. You are unaware of the principles, the rules, the way how to to do it even." And I guess that's the same there. So spirit is there, open-mindedness is there. That's good. Our knowledge is lacking, and too many partnerships are started without having a clear why. Why do we even want this partnership? Resulting in okay, if we don't know why we do it, we don't know what we do and how we do it, and then at one point people say, "Oh yeah, partnerships didn't work."
Okay, Martin, thank you. It was really interesting conversation for me. Thank you so much for your knowledge, for your experience that you shared with us today. And I'm sure that this information will be very helpful for people and also for this B2B SaaS partnership ecosystem in Berlin. So thank you.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And for everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like this video and put comments if you have questions, and see you in the next video.